What's up, y'all? Back again with a quick video. You know, I was thinking recently and something came upon me. I felt like it was important that we need to discuss this. So here it goes. Today's video is titled, Bow Before Me. That's right, bow before me. So, I know that a lot of people practice many different religions. There's Muslim, there's Buddhism, there's Christianity, these type of religions. I don't necessarily follow any particular religion right now. I've moved away from the organized religion per se. I consider myself more spiritual. I'll talk about that later, but what I find is that a lot of religions, although they have a common denominator and a common core values, a lot of the religions practice different sets of beliefs and, you know, different things. So therefore, they tend to divide more than they bring together. So that's why I move away from organized religions. But when I was younger, I researched, or I was taught about Jesus and in the Bible. So I have that frame of reference of teachings from Jesus, from the Bible. Okay, I didn't necessarily go and study this in my free time. These are things that were told to me from a young age. So as I was recently just pondering some of the stories from the Bible, I thought about this. Jesus was said to have been on a 40-day fast, okay? Jesus was said to have undergone a fast of 40 days. Now, when we say fast, what do we mean? In a religious sense or spiritual terms, the word fast means to abstain from, for means of personal connection or personal commitment to a creator, to your creator. So in other words, if you're fasting, some people choose most commonly to fast on food. So that means that they will abstain from either a certain kind of food or any food in general for a particular set of time, as to fulfill certain obligations or certain requirements or certain promises that they've made to themselves and to the Creator. Why do I bring that up? When Jesus was on a fast of 40 days, it wasn't necessarily told exactly what he was fasting on. It is assumed that he was fasting from food, but it's very possible that he was fasting from other things that he enjoyed or that he found suitable. So now we're looking in context. I'm not talking about necessarily what time frame it is, what his name was, what color he was. We're looking at a man, a simple man who in his human body has decided that he wants to do this. So in his journey, 40 days, mind you, he was in the jungle, okay? Not the jungle, but he was in the desert, should I say. In the wilderness for 40 days by himself, in seclusion. Along his path in those 40 days, it is said that he was confronted by the devil, what we call an adversary, what we call an enemy. He was confronted by this. Now, many can decipher it and say an actual devil came to him. Many can decipher it and say he was having a mirage or illusions. Many can say he was hallucinating. Many might even say he was just confronted with his innermost desires. I'm not here to argue exactly what Jesus experienced. I'm here to tell a story. So, he was confronted in a weak state, mind you. He was fasting for 40 days. We don't know what he was fasting from, but he was abstaining for 40 days in the wilderness, away from civilization. So this means he was, at the very least, susceptible to outside information, to outside influences. He was, in a sense, he was weakened. His physical state was weakened. In this weakened state, the devil or his adversary came to him and told him. Now, this is the important part of it. His adversary came to him and told him what? Told Jesus, told this being, whatever his name may be, he was told that if he were to humble himself and submit himself to the devil, to the adversary, to the enemy, if this being Jesus were to kneel or bow before the enemy, he would be allowed to have riches beyond his comprehension. In other words, the devil promised him all of his heart's desires. His physical desires will be met if he can simply bow a knee and admit from his tongue that he will submit to his enemy. He will submit to the evil. Okay? Now, this is very important. What Jesus supposedly told his adversary. What he told him was, what good is it to gain the world and to lose your soul in the process? So now, we have to look at what he meant by that. He understood in his physical state that he was susceptible. He understood that the devil or his adversary had dominion over the world. And he understood that his adversary possessed these material possessions that many find vital. Still, in a weakened state, he decided to deny it. Not only did he deny it, but then he posed a question back to his adversary. What good would it be for me to gain every single thing in this world if in the process my soul, my righteousness, my morals, my convictions, my teachings, my love is gone? If I lose these vital things that are innate and irreplaceable, invaluable, there is no amount of material wealth that can suffice that loss. Also, we have to understand, the devil then told him, well, if you are the true Son of God, and if you can truly perform these miracles and bring life into fruition, why don't you turn this stone into a loaf of bread so that you may replenish your body? Because if you are truly God's son, you can be able to do a feat like this. See, this is what the enemy will do. This is what the enemy and the adversary, if you allow him, will do. He will come to you in a weakened state. He will come to you in a time of need, in a time of despair, in a time of uncertainty. And just like the snake that he was portrayed in Genesis, he will come and he will strike when he sees the most vulnerable, when he sees it's most fit. And then he will strike with a venom that will resonate in your soul. So he'll tell you things in your mind to make you question your reality, to question your faith, to question your creator, to question your destiny. Why not turn that rock into a loaf of bread if you are the Son of God? But see, as children of God, we must never, ever compromise or negotiate with the enemy or the adversary. We must never prove God's worth or our worth to our enemy, who only means to destroy us and belittle us and demean us. For we know our power is within us, and our power is within God. And he's the one who grants us the mercy and the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to discern when to use our powers, our miracles, our magic, if you will. So never decide to boast or brag or use your magic for the enemy. You understand? This is a very important thing that we must do. We must never, ever question our God. We must never question our Creator, because the adversary would love for us to falter in our faith. He would love for us to take the small amount of doubt and to raise that to the point where we no longer believe in our God. You understand that? One more thing I have to say is this. When it comes to celebrities, when it comes to entertainers, when it comes to people of high influence, We have to understand what we're dealing with. This is part of the discussion, you understand? Because what we're dealing with now are entertainers, celebrities and the like, and people in high influential places who are denying their creator in front of the world. This is what's happening. So most of the time it seems as though we have high esteem and high hope for these influential figures in our lives who either play basketball, who sing, who do great things. We expect them to have a high moral standard, and we expect their moral compass to be the same as ours. We have to understand many of these celebrities have been compromised. What do I mean by that? I mean that in the same way that the adversary came to the figure that we call Jesus in the Bible, we have to understand that that same adversary is alive and well today. And he is recruiting God's children for his evil agenda. You understand this? So modern day, when you see celebrities that aren't speaking out, or when you see celebrities that are giving misinformation, or just you see celebrities that are simply putting nonsense and garbage into the collective atmosphere as opposed to uplifting and raising the consciousness of their brother and sister, when you see this, we have to understand what's going on. They have been controlled and bought off by the adversary. They have been bought by the adversary. They were, in the same way, approached at a weakened state and told, if you bow before me, we will give you the world. So what you see now from these celebrities in modern times, just like in biblical times, is that they're bowing their knee. They're bowing their knee to the adversary, to the devil, if you will. We can go into conspiracy theories, and I can show you countless examples of very questionable, to say the least, activity by high-ranking celebrities. Very questionable. But see, that's not my path. My path is not necessarily to demean, belittle, or show the sins of every single individual around me. Because I have enough sins that I have done in my life that I need to be absolved for. And I have enough desires inside of me that I need to control, besides pointing fingers all day. So that's not the reason why I made this video. I need us to understand the connection between what happened then and what happened now, or what's happening now. If we look at any scripture, we need to strip it to this core denominator. When I speak of Jesus, I don't mean in Christianity. When I speak of Jesus, I resonate with his Christ nature. Christ wasn't Jesus' last name. He didn't have his sister Jessie Christ and his brother Johnny Christ, his dad Joseph Christ, his mom Mary Christ, his auntie Mary Lou Christ. Christ was his psyche. Christ was his consciousness. Christ was his awareness state. Christ was his elevated mentality. He became a Christ-like figure. So when we speak of this Christ-like figure, we have to understand the genuine, strong individual that he was purported to be. He was a human being, but he understood his mission was more than his physical body. His mission was to set a standard to be remembered through time. So when he was approached in his most weakened physical state, he still had the resiliency and the courage to say, you know what? Fuck you. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Because that's the energy that he gave off. You want to come to me and question me on my abilities and my God just because I'm fasting, or just because I'm in the wilderness, or just because I'm in this circumstance, or just because my money is not this person's type of money? What you got to understand is true children of God do not let their circumstances define them. They are defined by their actions. They are defined by their respect in their community. They are defined by their commitment to their Creator. And that the way that they show that is through everyday action. It's not just talk. So we have to show God. If we want to be children of God, and if we are true believers of God and representation of God, we have to act as gods. We have to be the vessel that shows his physical manifestation on this human plane for others to attest to. You understand? I hope you all understand this. I really, really, really want us to move to the next step, the next phase. But in order to move forward, we must evaluate our past. We must evaluate what we are, what we have been, what we are now, and we can then evaluate what we will be in the future. So I don't want to take too much of your time. I hope this resonated with you. If not, take some time, meditate on it, and maybe it'll resonate with you at a different time. I love all you. I appreciate you. And just to let you know, I read every single one of the comments that y'all put for me. I try to reply to every single comment that I get and show you that I appreciate your time, I appreciate your support and your honesty, because at the very end of it all, we need to all have a discussion with each other. We are in this world together. We can be divided by gender and race, religion, language, geography, or we can come together and realize we were all made in the eyes of the Creator. So I love you. Stay on that path. You already know what it is. Vibrate higher.